Afternoon, September 10th, 2025 at 1 p.m. Pretty close. The Sarasota Transportation Disadvantage LCB meeting is called to order. We can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thank you. Right, so now it's everybody's favorite time. We got a few new faces, so this will be good. Time for member introductions. We'll go around the table. I can start. My name is Brett Gottschalk. I'm the vice chair, and I'm here and I work for the Agency for Persons with Disabilities. The Kimberly.
Vocational rehabilitation.
Judy Carter, Suncoast Center for Independent Living.
Elida Mujikapato, Children and Families.
Everybody, I'm Cameron Hodges with Easter Seals, Southwest Florida.
Tamara Shell for Breeze Transit.
Mary Boswell, I'm here in Alex Almonpo's spot.
Scott Lansing with MTM Transit.
Seth Klein with Breeze Transit.
I'm Harry Moffman, Department of Health.
Maricela Morado with the Area Agency on Aging for Southwest Florida, representing the Department of Elder Affairs.
Brenda Gordon, Agency for Healthcare Administration, Medicaid.
Megan Kraft, I'm with Sarasota County Schools. I work with the ESC students.
Aretha Gibson, Sarasota County Veteran Services.
Darren Butler, Sarasota County Veteran Services. Ken Waters, Sarasota.
Well, thank you for the alternates who have come here, their first time meeting. Hopefully you find it an enjoyable time and learn something, so that's good. Thank you for coming. We have a full house, so I'm assuming we got a quorum. Right. Moving right along. We will now open the meeting for public comment, including any comments on any agenda item. On the screen, you'll see the 3 ways for the public to provide input to the LCB. All comments received will be shared with the committee members and made part of the public record. Grace, do we have any public comment cards received?
No. Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm just like, I'm used to looking Lindsay's over there, but you're who I see.
Rachel.
Okay.
But we both say no.
You both, final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, sounds great. Any written requests, anything in advance?
Yeah.
All right, moving right along to the adoption of the minutes from the June 4th, 2025 meeting. I will now make a motion to adopt the minutes for the meeting, or I will entertain a motion to adopt the minutes for the June meeting and workshop. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
We got Kimberly with the first and Brenda with the second. Is there any opposed? Seeing none, the minutes are adopted. Thank you. Moving right along. To our favorite time, to where we get to hear Mr. Seth speak.
Yeah.
Our next is the presentations. First item under 5A is the Community Transportation Coordinator report.
Okay, so this is our trolley ridership. You look, the dark pink is this year's ridership. We're a little bit low. That is due in large fact to the hurricanes we had in October of last year. We have not fully recovered from that, but we're still not less than we have in the past. We're still up. The average rider per month is about 25,000 riders per month. This is the TD ridership for all of our services for the second quarter 2025. If you look at that, it's got the total number of trips, it's got the total percentage of TD trips, and then the blue is the total number of TD trips. So you can see that about 15% of the trips that I provide are actual TD trips. This is our on-demand service, and this is all trips in total. We started to provide some TD trips through on-demand We're still waiting to get a good number. It hasn't been long enough to get us some quantitative information yet. But we're still running 40,000 trips a month. We're still higher than last year, which is the gray line on there. And if you look on the things, it'll say that the number of passengers is up 17%, 22% increase in our hours, 50% increase in our miles, and a 10% increase in our unique number of riders. Same thing, Northport continues to be our big demand driver.
I have a quick question before you go.
Absolutely.
When you, and I know we talked in Manatee, but it just to conceptualize, when you go, we're low on trips due to the hurricanes last season. What do you, is the factor of that, like just people who kind of moved out of the area, so there's less people?
After the hurricanes, we had a drop in tourism.
Okay.
And then I think it was one of the Sarasota tourist agencies just put some numbers out and they had a really good recovery from that,
Okay,
but it did not translate to the trolley. So we're down a little bit there. Because people haven't just come back to the island. They're either coming to the island and staying on the island and not staying downtown or. So it'll rebound. I expect this season to go much higher.
And you're offering the same amount of trips?
We have actually increased the amount of trips that would be available to it. Yeah, we were on about a 30 to 45 minute headway and we're running a 15 to 20 minute headway now. So when you're standing at a bus stop, within 15-20 minutes, a trolley should be coming by you. We're not running it like we do a fixed route bus where there's a set time, just because there's 2 bridges to get onto the island and then everybody drives to Siesta Key. So in season, that's gonna change and that could go, up to an hour. We've seen trolley sit in one spot for an hour and a half because no one's just going anywhere. This is the paratransit side of it. The ADA is the light green, or the light orange. TD is the darker orange. And then the veterans you can't see on there because there's very few of them, but we are down from where we were last year. We tried to attribute that to the people that were transitioning from the Breeze Plus service to riding the on-demand and mobility on-demand services. And in a person per person, we could not make that correlation. So I'm not real sure why we were lower than we were last year.
With the veterans? I can give you insight on that. The community care program, which was extended by the president, it allows the veterans to be treated locally. So the trips to Bay Pines has been reduced by the veterans been able to get care in the local Sarasota community. So that is a direct correlation to those trips.
Overall for the quarter, we're down 1% in the number of passengers. We're up 2% on the distinct riders that ride the service. Down 5% on the ADA trips, and we're increased 3% on the TD trips.
do you guys like anticipate, like when, like last year was a really bad hurricane season, do you anticipate the impact that would have on your riders? I know, but I'm just going like, you go, cause you go, it's like every year there's a hurt, so it's like, I guess where I'm going is like, well, we're always down numbers because of last year's events, like, is there like a quantifiable amount, or is it like? I guess where I'm going, it's just always it's down because of hurricanes, it's down because of last hurricane, of like, what do we like?
The
What is-
trolley
How do
specifically,
you calculate that in?
the trolley specifically was down because the service itself was closed for 3 weeks. So there was absolutely no ridership for almost a month, and then for 4 or 5 weeks after that, they had very limited service. Because they couldn't get a trolley up and down all the way, so we just had a little bit of service around the village. So
But
that's
I guess when we're looking quarter of 2025 of, when we're
April,
looking at
June.
April, May and June, that we're 9 months.
So for this, I have no real reason, like
Okay.
no understanding of why that's gone down.
Right,
It could be there's better providers in the area, they're taking more Medicaid trips. I don't really have an answer for that. If you've got one, I'd be willing to hear it.
I'm just saying, I'm like, more for my own knowledge of like,
Scott would like to know it too, because he gets paid by trip.
Kimberly's got a question, Seth.
Oh, yeah,
I noticed some people that come to Vogue Rehab, they have an app through Humana, and Humana insurance through Medicaid might provide transportation. Have you noticed a decline because of insurance or Medicaid programs, I'm not quite sure if it's.
I've got no way to track that, to be honest.
Right.
I'm not able to look into the Medicaid system, so I can't tell if an individual is or is not Medicaid qualified. Which for the TD program is kind of hurtful because we're not supposed to give them a TD ride if they have eligible Medicaid trips. So I don't have a good way to look at that. It could be a possibility, but I don't know.
I just never, I wasn't aware of it, so I'm like, oh, you have like transfer, like in the Uber, but it's paid through Humana, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, they are expanded benefits through Medicaid. I'm sorry, February 1st of this year, there was a expansion on the Medicaid, the extra benefits. I mean, transportation was always part of it. So I just don't know to which degree they expanded in that area, which could potentially be one of the reasons for this. And again, I mentioned in a Manatee meeting, and I might ask again, we have maybe less number of snowbirds coming down for different reasons, right? This year, so maybe that's an impact as well.
Something that we kind of track, like we do look at the flights that are incoming. And then that kind of gives us an idea of what we can look at from last year to see if we've had that many flights incoming or not. It's not down.
Okay.
But we don't know how many drive down here versus fly down here.
And this sounds good, kind of piggybacking off of like Kim and Alita, like, do you guys look like we're viewing it as if a ridership goes down 2%, like that's a bad thing? But that could actually be a positive thing if people are utilizing other avenues. You guys, like, I guess I'm more going of like, you guys as Breeze necessarily, we're looking at a number and we think up is good, down is bad, but like, I'm sure the numbers are more nuanced to that of what, it's probably good to have other travel options as, Daryl's saying is that like, it's a good thing that veterans can be served locally, so they don't need to go to Bay Pines and Pinellas, that like, so some down means that we're making positive, I guess.
Our number of ADA trips that have gone down is a positive thing, that because people are finding other ways to get to where they want to go. And then our number of TD trips is up, which is also a positive, because that is meant for the individuals that need the service the most, so that means that we're reaching more of them than we were before.
So I know you guys don't always, as you're saying, like, we're all speculating about the root cause, but like, do you guys as like a provider, like the aid is the provider, kind of maybe look at a more approach of like some down is good and maybe, like, are you guys just always looking to, we want more trips year after year?
More trips on the fixed route is the goal. More trips on the services like the paratransit and the TD service is not a goal. It's better for the group as a whole if the fixed route is the main provider of that transportation. And then this is the airport. We've lost a lot of airport service, down 25% number of passengers and down 30% in the number of unique riders that take it. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
The airport, is that just people landing there or trying to go somewhere, or is that the transfer?
That is the transfer between Manatee County and us.
Okay. Wonder what that's all about.
What's the acronym TD?
Transportation disadvantaged.
Manatee didn't share those airport numbers, did they?
I think
They-
Breeze is,
Breeze
the- yeah.
For that too.
Say again?
You do the Manatee piece too of that?
No, so I track it's gonna be the same for both of us. Because what they bring to me, I'm picking up, and what I bring back there, they pick up. So the numbers are gonna be almost identical.
Reciprocal,
Yeah. Not saying that I do for Manatee County. If you look at it, they're gonna be about the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. All right, thank you, Seth. Any other questions for Seth? We like to grill them, so if you want to learn anything, feel free.
They did like we're on him on Suncoast News for Suncoast Hero, so I think I saw it.
All right,
I missed it, what?
you're a local celebrity?
I am?
They do a spot on you on the news for Suncoast Heroes.
They did, yeah.
So I saw part of it, I'm like, oh my god, I know you.
Yeah, you know that.
How modest, we didn't know we're in the midst of a hero.
So we may need an autograph. You
Yeah.
never know how
If
much
it helps.
in the future, right?
Yeah.
If it helps, I didn't know it was happening either. Someone told me they stopped, I'm like, was I in handcuffs?
Thank you, Seth, and always being so nice with answering our questions. Any other questions before we move on to Cameron to give us an update on the Easter Seals GM grant project? All right, go ahead, Cameron.
Brett, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Does the Breeze have a travel trainer in place or somebody that helps the transition from doing demand like this to fixed route? And if so, or if there's another way, is there any numbers that show how many people were transitioning from that to fixed route?
So we don't have a way to directly show from paratransit to fixed route because we don't track individuals on our fixed route. We do have the start of a travel training program. We didn't have one last year. And we've got the transit ambassadors right now. Those are individuals, they're volunteers that come to us. We train them on how to help people go out and do things, and we're developing that. And then myself, Becky, and Chelsea do a lot of outreach to organizations in the community. They'll want us to come down and explain the services and work through that. But those are mostly geared towards finding the individuals that need the ridership of the special care of the paratransit, more so than the fixed route.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And do you have the numbers of those that graduated from the training program?
I don't want to answer that question. As far as I'm understanding right now, it is one.
Okay, well.
Better than
One is one than none, right?
I don't know if you may get there. I know in the last meeting, just as you're going, may thought of that. It sounds like Manatee County has like a driver epidemic that they're cutting routes. Have you guys, last I heard, they said there are 22 drivers down, and that's not including people who are calling out or ever going. Are you guys experiencing any?
We are not. I think we're supposed to have a grand total of 105 drivers, and we're at like 102.
Wow.
We've got 5 part-time spots, I think, that are full. For our paratransit side.
We're down about 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
No, I mean, you're probably always gonna have an open, that's just life.
and then our trolley drivers, they're fully staffed.
Wow.
They did mention that their rate is higher.
Yeah,
their rate of
I
pay.
sure.
Yeah.
They're going here.
Cool. Thank you. Cameron, please, up to you.
Yeah, thank you. Some of you in this room attended a meeting at Easter Seals in August that we led about those of you who need individuals to come to your site using public transportation services, and we just had a round robin about what's working, maybe what's a struggle for you, and what do we think the solutions are. And a lot of good ideas came out of that. I didn't do this at the Manatee meeting, but issues that group, so it was like, Easter Seals, both school districts, Loveland Center from Venice and Bradenton, Senior Friendship Center, Lighthouse. Anyway, lots of folks around that table. It was a good conversation. Some issues that they said they'd like to see worked on are Charlotte County needs, the fact that Inglewood's in 2 counties, maybe interagency, and there could be a grant, we said from GM, that would help interagencies coordinate with each other, and if they had inventory of buses that could help each other out, they could get paid to do that. A vehicle inventory from the agencies. We realize that everybody's got a lot of capacity, and there's a lot of hours that those vehicles sit unused. And so that led to a general discussion of how could the organizations be a part of the solution in partnership with you all. We mentioned this meeting being that it's 2 counties having separate meetings, and maybe there needs to be kind of a merge group where both counties are talking more frequently to each other. There was a comment about there's a 7-passenger van restriction for Sarasota County District schools. And why is that a restriction? Because it kind of limited where they could take their kids for vocational trainings. Of course, the issue of serving South County, Sarasota in general, East County, Manatee, kind of those more rural areas. We just saw Northport on the screen. And then disaster resilience and continuity of services between the counties after storms and other natural disasters. And the Barrier Island access, which Manatee showed a new flyer this morning showing some handy bus holiday and Sunday services to Anna Maria and down into the middle of Wando Key there. So those were some of the big points that were brought up, but I think I was sharing this morning, I was most impressed with sort of a board focus of how can we, the agencies, be part of the solution. So more to come on that. Many of you in here will see a meeting invite for 2 Fridays from now. Those of you that provide the transportation, we want to bring them together. And then those of you that pay for the transportation, want to bring you together. By the end of December, we'll have a full report bringing everybody together and sort of a powwow of let's get this done. And this kind of dovetailed nicely into some comments we heard from David about what was going on at the state conference. Did anybody go to the state conference that was last week? Yeah, about sort of a recognition of siloed conversations. I said that wrong. Conversations happening in silos that needed to be happening in partnership. So I don't know, Seth and Scott, you heard kind of some of that chatter at the conference, but no, okay. We'll hear more.
But I know it in a different way to that
Yeah.
conference that was then, so.
Yeah. Anyway, that was it. Thank you for those of you who are participating and thank you for responding to upcoming meeting requests.
Excellent. Any questions for Cameron?
Oh, one more thing I did share with the Manatee group this morning. National Easter Seals is still a little bit confused about what GM actually wants out of this. So we're just doing what we think we're supposed to be doing and we'll see after December what's next.
Sounds great. Thank you. All right. For those, Dale, you are up, the voice from the heavens.
Hello, everybody. This is Dale Hansen with the Florida Department of Transportation. I am sitting in for Victoria Upthegrove today, and I have her notes in front of me, so I'm going to read them all to you. So last December, there were many applicants that applied for the federal grants for federal fiscal year 25. We received 37 applications this past December for FTA sections 5310, 5311, and 5339. Within your Sarasota County area, it was Breeze Transit that applied for an application, and they applied for an application within the 5310 program, which is for seniors and individuals with disabilities. This application has been recommended to central office. However, we have not received any confirmation back yet of any awards. Hopefully within the next couple months, we'll hear something. So, that was good that you guys were all recommended. Separately from a training aspect, we have the Grants Management and Funding Opportunities webinar that's happening on September 18th. And what that is it's kind of like a workshop of how to apply to the upcoming grant. So every single year, the federal grant has an application opportunity that comes along at the end of the year. The applications are due typically in December. And what the Department of Transportation does is we host a workshop. It's a virtual webinar to teach you kind of, what it's about, what you're going to see in the application. And it's roughly 3 hours long. But again, if you are considering on applying, I highly recommend you attend. Again, that's September 18th. Registration is by this Friday, September 12th. The MPO, I believe, has the information on it, and can provide that to you. I believe the deadline is 5 p.m. And then also the deadline for the grant applications is December 12th by 5 p.m. Separately, that is actually all I have. That's it.
Any questions for Dale? Okay. You're off the hook. Then moving on to the MPO report. Arshini, I say that wrong?
Yes.
Okay, well, I tried my best, but you're up.
You said it right.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say yes, you said it right.
Oh, okay. I still tried my best.
Yeah. Again, you almost got it right. But the NPO. It's actually question.
Arshini.
Yeah.
Okay, next time.
For the MPO part of the update, so the long range transportation plan 2050 LRTP, the MPO is working on almost finalizing the drafts and all. We had the public comment period closed last weekend, and we did receive some good feedback from the DOT from our local jurisdictions, and staff is working on incorporating all those comments into the plans, and it is up for adoption next week. And another interesting thing that the MPO is doing with transit is the regional transit feasibility study, which the MPO would kick off later this year, hopefully in November. We drafted a scope for the study, and it was sent to the transit agencies in 2 counties for their review, and we met with the transit counties, 2 county transit agencies. And so the idea for this study is to kind of look at the growth in the next 25 years and see how we can improve the transit facilities to better provide services in the growing years ahead. So that was the study all about. And we would kind of finalize the draft really soon and bring it to you guys in the next set of meetings. And
Did you say 25 years?
so it was 25 years because for the 2050 long range transportation plan, we do socioeconomic projections for 2050. So we take the base year of 2023 and we project the population for 2050. So with those insights from the SE data projections, we've noticed there's going to be a lot of growth in the eastern side, which doesn't currently have any transit services. So the idea was looking at how the future would look like and how we can accommodate transit or any other facilities for the growth that is the east of I-75. And the MPO would be adopting the Barrier Island Implementation Plan this end of this month, September 29th. And that study also has a toolkit that focuses on transit. So it basically talks about how improving transit facilities to the islands and in the islands would kind of impact the congestion positively. So there's a transit toolkit that was shared with the TAC, and it will be shared to this committee once it's adopted by the end of this year. Yep, and both David and Rachel were at the State TD conference, and David can provide his insights of the conference.
I thought Rachel was gonna do this one. Like many of you know, the TD conference was last month. Circling back of what Cameron mentioned, there seems to be a statewide acknowledgement lately. MPOs, transit agencies, and even the commission, that of the issue that there is of bridging the gap of inner counties. Like how do counties work together, you know, because maybe the restriction is the funding that's used for the vehicles and items like that, to where they can't serve outside of the jurisdictions. There is no real solution to that. So they're acknowledging it and looking forward, trying to see, look into the future, trying to see what can happen. Like I mentioned this morning, the commission has notified us that they have, I believe it's 4 new commissioners that were elected into the CTD. So, and that they're working on updating the documentations and the processes with fresh eyes with these new commissioners that may bring new ideas and new input. So looking forward to the future. They seemed optimistic. We'll see what that optimism actually brings to the table. So I just wanted to provide that part of the conference, and also circle back to Cameron's comments earlier. I guess in addition to that, since I'm already speaking, I'll bring up that on September 16th, the MPO lease agreement will be going to the Manatee County Board of County Commissioners. As many of you may know, may not know, the MPO has an interlocal agreement for administrative services with Manatee County. So that's why the lease agreement has to go to the county, the Manatee County Board of County Commissioners for approval. It should be, we talked with Commissioner Cruz has wanted, there seems to not be any questions or any reasons to why it's not gonna be moving forward. Our board voted on our last board meeting to move forward with it. So it's we can consider it pretty much done. The location will be off of State Road 70. Right across the street from Manatee Tech. Little closer to the highway, still within the parameters of, you know, areas that both counties are kind of, you know, still merging together. As many of you know, it's been a year-long process trying to look for office spaces as a government agency. We obviously have a whole bunch of hurdles that the private industry does not have to deal with, and as far as how long it takes us to do these things. So I can speak for myself, I am happy this is almost done. I'm ready to do something different. And if I don't have to look for, I don't have to look at a lease agreement for a while, that would be great. At least on my end. Well, I guess one thing I forgot to bring in the Manatee County meeting was in the conference also. There was a lot of agencies that, a lot of MPOs that obviously hold the LCBs. And they seem to be incorporating, I gotta be honest, I haven't thought about it, was incorporating, like, for example, Sarasota County, you know, obviously, Breeze provides the service for the whole county, but there is no, and obviously it wouldn't be they're not member, they're no voting members, but there's no representation or anything, from like the city of Sarasota or the islands or items like that. So I just wanted to bring it up and see what, you know, for your discussion as to what are your thoughts on that, and if the answer is it would be beneficial, what would that even look like? You know, obviously they would be, I guess, maybe an advisory or I don't know, visitors. I've heard different ways that different agencies are doing it. It's just something to put out there. I wanted to bring it up in Manatee County, I forgot, so I'm bringing it up here now. I think I'm done talking, I talked too much.
I guess my question of that would be, it's an open meeting, if they really felt it was worth their time, couldn't they already be attending?
Part of it is.
City commissioner.
You know what, I'm just afraid, I'm not saying, so you go like, how does it look that like, is there an interest on their end?
I can speak to what my experience was when I first began doing these meetings, is that a lot of the agencies that are here right now, I'm not throwing anybody in the bus, I'm just stating the fact, a lot of agencies that participate now and are active members and bring excellent you know, things to the table weren't coming, whether that be the people that were receiving the information were no longer there. They just didn't know the meetings were happening. So I guess again, it's on the table as to, you know, not to why they're not coming, but should the board you know, take the step forward to invite them, and then if they don't come, then we know that the answer is that they're not interested.
I'm assuming that you're engaging the municipalities in your long-range planning efforts, right? So I don't know who those people are that are working with your team, but maybe that seems like an appropriate fit, yeah.
And I guess I would go, I'm gonna bring it to like Seth and Scott, go, are you guys, I mean, I assume that you have regular contact with the cities and the islands, or no?
So on my side of it, I do not. I do know that the Jane has meetings on I think a quarterly or at least biannually basis with each of the municipalities to show them services that we are providing in their areas. how it's improved or what our future look into those are. But we don't have like a monthly meeting with each of the cities to go over the same information.
We did, Breeze Transit did just complete its transit development plan, which is a 10-year plan. And we did have, input from all the cities. They participated in the stakeholder working group meetings that we had. So we met with.
I guess my fear of like, if we make them is that we're all here representing a unique population. That you go and you start bringing the city in, is it gonna be their way or kind of like overtake the city and the transit? And they like who we serve, who the TD council is, are we gonna get sort of lost in the shuffle? Like they're so big, you bring Sarasota City in, it's so big that like, what are they coming to accomplish? I guess is where I also go to it of like, are they gonna come, I guess my fear is like, could they hijack the meeting?
I mean, I think.
I'm just bringing it up
Yeah.
of like,
But if you think about it, a lot of the folks that are TD qualified are living in city limits. Seniors, people with disabilities who are gonna live in a more accessible area, not rural, you know.
we can only vote on like the transportation in which like the county is providing. So I guess I'm throwing up, I'm just giving my concerns, but you got this as open forum of.
Maybe before creating an advisory. Or
Right.
something, just send them the invitation, see if they participate, if there is active participation of them, then maybe at that point we can say, maybe we do need an advisory. Board of the municipalities, the islands and the cities.
And I'll bring it up again, you know, it doesn't have to be that they are a member, it could be that there is a standing invitation.
Sure.
For them to come, and if they happen to have something that they want to present, then they can, you know, they can do so. Things like that, I don't, you know, again, there's something I heard, everybody was doing it, seemed to have positive feedback on it. It was well received by other agencies that weren't doing it. I promised them I would bring it up and I would mention it, and I failed this morning, so I wasn't gonna fail again. But to that same comment is, like Seth mentioned, and we've seen. Northport is probably one of the biggest, or the biggest MOD area. Should we have a representation, not a representation, somebody from the city of Northport, you know, to invite them to come and see the numbers and see what's actually happening. To Cameron's comment also is normally the cities and are the more densely populated area. And as far as the TD service, and Seth, you can correct me if it's wrong, I don't know how big of a chunk does the city, you know, the city jurisdictions take from the actual service, you know, what percentages versus who lives in the city and who lives in the rest of the county proper. You know, what the numbers, if it's 50, or, you know, you may tell me it's 25% and nobody in the city rides, and I
don't know the exact percentage. I know that a bulk of our TD ridership goes from or to the Loveland and the Haven specifically. There are people that go from Northport to the Haven. There are people that go from, we pick up at the airport that go to the Haven. Same thing with Loveland, and the Loveland's got campuses in Venice and Northport, I think. And the Haven has a campus in Venice. So a bulk of our ridership goes to that.
How do the city's leadership and municipality leadership communicate with you? Like if they have, you know, constituents that are.
That would go back to once a quarter or biennial when the county leadership and Jane meet with the municipalities.
Right, okay.
So this meeting is under the county leadership, though, it's not your own, right?
Yeah.
So it comes down to county. again.
Yeah.
It's the funding source.
Yes.
I'm guessing it could be an opportunity for more boots on the ground, actually bring their perspective. Again, I'm just bringing this up, I'm not trying to push either or, I'm trying to provide the feedback that we received when we were there and what comments I heard. And then again, it's not something that has to be decided right now, it's something to consider, something to continue to discuss. Again, whatever the board chooses to do, what.
I mean, I think the best way to start is just inviting them to see if there's an interest on their end. I mean, we can beat every scenario to death, but if there's not an interest on their end, you could spend 20 minutes wasting our time seeing if they could or not, and if they don't have an interest in coming, you know, that's, I mean, I think that's the first place to start, is just to reach out to the different municipalities to see if we invite them, do they come? And then see what it looks like from there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Would it add any value if we include the TD element in the regional transit feasibility study to see, you know, how this collaboration would start, or if it would add any value or it, or, you know, anything to do with TD in the transit feasibility study? Because for the draft that we have now, I don't think it includes the TD element to it. So if this is something that you all think would add value, including, I think we could still do it if it's still in the draft form.
I think you would have to plan for that in a 25-year frame.
That doesn't have to be in the 25 years. I mean, the study rose because of how the population was projected to grow, and that's why the study came up into action. But even in that study, we can have sections of where we want certain things to focus. If we want TD to be in, you know, look at TD for the 3 to 5 years, we could still do that, and then the projections and transit in another section. Like the study could be segmented the way we want it.
I mean, I'm an inclusive person, so I think yes, but I'm one voice and.
I think that naturally the TD will have to come up, because the TD service is not something that the transit agencies choose to do. That they have to.
Yeah.
So it'll naturally be included in it. I know that the study is supposed to look at the transit system as a whole, all modes of transportation, whether that be ferries, fixed route. You know, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it also incorporates the airport, it incorporates everything, even the new DOT, what's it called, the drone pickup dropping people thing, I forget what it's called.
The ones that are mobility.
Yeah. I don't know, something like that, they have an acronym for it, I don't recall, it's off the top of my head right now.
eVTOL.
EV. So, I know it looks at the whole system. So as a default, it's gonna have to be included, whether we want to add a language into it. It may be beneficial to do it, to call it out.
Yeah.
Something for us to discuss.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think we start by invite them to the next meeting and see if what they go. I mean, I think all of us go, the more people who come and the more different perspectives, the better, but my fear is there's such a big entity that it can kind of overshadow some of us who don't have a huge footprint, as big as footprint as like a Sarasota. And I've been in enough of these meetings that the biggest players in the game tend to default to have the loudest voice. So that's where my fear.
And that's why I steer everybody, I would steer everybody away from a voting member. Just because of that, that's not what the meeting is intended for, but it's more of an informative for them. And for the board in general, I would consider. You guys would consider, I would consider, you're the board, I sit in the background now. Sending it, you know, try to reach out, I would give it more time than just one meeting.
Sure.
Because we may be sending invitations to the wrong person.
Yeah.
Until all that, you know, we first gotta figure out who those contact persons are, and while we do that, the next meeting may or may have already happened. So.
To your point, Brett, and that being a real concern that they might take over is, if we do see that that is happening, then maybe at that point, we could say, let's create an advisory committee where one person then comes in only to our meeting to advise us of what they discuss, not necessarily taking over this meeting.
Yeah, and I go like, I guess I always go like, I don't wanna meet today, I mean, I mean, that's fine, let's just, let's see how it goes,
And remember, as the board, you guys set the ground. You know, you, whether you wanna give them 5 minutes, no time, just sit in the background and hear, that's why I wanted to bring it up. Because
But I also
want-
think it's important too, of like, they should be able to tell us as a board, what are you bringing, like, okay, if you're coming and you even want this, what are you, what perspective are you bringing to us? What are, like, that's what I think to where, like, I think, look, is like, if they're coming. And if we're gonna do an advisory board, like, if we're all gonna take time and meet, what are. Besides, you know, being here and being a part is great, but it's like, what are you bringing to the table that isn't already here? That like, if we're gonna do an advisory board for that,
Just a little bit of a different perspective, I feel like Seth and his team are the granddaddy and the city's answer to them.
they're county, so you go,
Yeah.
that's where you,
I mean, that's
so
where
kind of
providing
going with that,
The
you go.
transportation to their municipalities, right?
So I just see it going, my fear is you go, we talked about like Myakka City or we're over in Lakewood Ranch and we brought up like, why isn't there more like bus stops in Lakewood Ranch? And what's your answer? There isn't the need, and you go, it stops there. So you go like, I look at, they're gonna come in, you get somebody like, you know, Northport going, well, we need Breeze to come out there more and more, and you're gonna go, there isn't the need there to justify it, and it kind of ends there. The city can want it, and you go, well, the city, you do where you go, but ultimately you guys answer to the county commission.
Right.
So, and that's kind of how that's kind of the stuff that I'm looking out and going of like, okay, and that's fine, we're all after our own interests, it's just how do we. I just hope they know what they're getting into, that this isn't just a time to get into Breeze's ear because they have a captive audience. So
And
that's
Brett,
like-
But
Yes.
real quick, one of the focuses, if this were to, have these discussions with the locals, is to say this is not a transit meeting. This is a meeting about the Commission for Transportation Disadvantaged, and that's where the focus is. So.
And that's where my thing is, invite them, have them come and more spectate to see if like, hey, like this is what it is, this is what Breeze presents. Get a feel for it, you know, I think that's kind of the most logical place to start. But I don't know. Suggestions?
I agree.
Cause we could send out 100 invites and they never come, and then this is all moot.
Yep.
So it's like, unless if they start putting butts in seats, you go, it's all just conjecture.
It may even be worth reaching out to David. You had mentioned it was from the other MPOs. If there was one that had spoken upon it, ask how they did it and what were some of the lesson learned into reaching out to the other municipalities. If they have any recommendations and what came out of it before reaching out.
Yeah, it would be nice if I remember who it was.
Hey, David, this is Lindsay online. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
This is just my 2 cents on this subject. Given that during the MPO board meeting, we have that first 15 minutes, maybe it's 30 minutes for the Public Transportation Task Force. I don't know if that could be, I know the LCB is different, but I'm not sure how it lines up with the CTD and what your discussion was at the conference, but maybe that would suffice because then you have the cities and commissioners for the counties at those meetings. So they're getting the information there, just a thought, but I'm not sure if everyone in the local coordinating board meetings is aware that we also have that section in our board meetings.
Oh, yeah, like you could bring up the topics, you could say if you wanna move anything to be presented at the board meeting, then you could just say, let's do it, and that's what you're saying. Right?
Well, I mean, in the end, we're open meetings, so that's what this is,
Right,
like, there's nothing wrong, like, we can send a more personalized invite and see if there's an interest and.
I would. If you guys were to ask me, I got passed with this on, I just brought up the option. Is. We'll send the invites out, kind of like everybody else receives it, kind of like the public receives it, but we'll, if we can get the emails for these jurisdictions or whatever, and see what happens.
Yeah,
And we'll take it from there, and again. Board doesn't have to make a decision today, we can choose to table it for now and bring it up at a later time, if you guys choose to discuss it further and. You know, maybe sit on it and we can discuss it in the next meeting, whatever, you know.
When are we due to look at our bylaws again?
February.
This coming year? So now is the good time, because if we need to make changes to the bylaws, you don't wanna do it later on, right? So maybe by the next time, if you wanna send out, reach out to a couple folks that you guys are already meeting with and see, get the feeling how it goes, report in November at the meeting, say, hey, this is the response we're getting. We may choose at that point to either go this direction or really not, because I'm not sure, like, is that something that we should be, put all of our energy in, right?
I to give you my 2 cents is not that it matters, it's like, we're all on this board because we represent people. And I know the city represents everybody, but you go, I represent individuals with developmental and intellectual disabilities. Kimberly's here representing people with disabilities who would like to find a work out in the community. Alita's here representing children and family, the kids in foster care. We have somebody from the schools, we have Ken from the economically disadvantaged representing people who need housing, who have Daryl and Aretha who are here representing veterans. Okay, so I can point, Brenda's here for Medicaid, Megan's here for students, people receiving low income. Maricella's here for individual the aging population, we have a riders, like, I guess where I'm going, that's why we're on the board.
It's mandated, yes.
So we're because we represent, okay, so that's where I'm going to, but then we take Sarasota or Lakewood and you go like. I think it's great if they can come and give perspective, but I think to even discuss to them to being part of the board. I don't think that fits the mission of what our board is. Because we're here representing a specific set of people who are all different than what each other do, so. We, in a sense, are here representing those citizens with disabilities who are looking for a job, who are economically disadvantaged in those cities, so. I would like to bring them in and then tell us how do they fit in with us? How do they see where they fit into what our mission is? Instead of us trying to go, okay, we let's see how they fit in, how do we manage to fit them in? I think if they show they should have to show some sort of. Like, how do you, okay, so this is who we are. And we're inviting you, we think you're great, but where do you see us, where do you see you guys as a city or municipality fitting into our mission and what we do? I think that's totally acceptable. Like, isn't it? Like.
I agree.
Yes,
So how come Cruz attends Manatee County and New Under doesn't come to this meeting?
I have no clue, that's it.
I mean,
That needs to be brought up to the county commissioner.
Yeah, like that's not any of us in the room, like that's
okay. Has it been like that since he's been chair?
I have never seen him
no.
on this meeting. David, has he ever been since a once? First, I missed that one, okay.
I know they do get appointed yearly, I believe it is. Forget when that time, when is it that they or
And then they rotate.
so that he may not be the appointed commissioner for next year. Again, that's up to the board is appoints the different commissioners to different tasks or meetings, I guess.
Part of the issue is that today is a county budget hearing. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are board county commission meetings. So lots of times there's a scheduling conflict with when these meetings are held. So that's something to consider in looking at future scheduling if that.
The thing with that is that also the NPO is not the only meeting that the NPO holds. I forget how many meetings it is, like Dave historically says, the NPO is, what is it, meetings are us. You know, so for example, today is what, Wednesday? Today is Wednesday. Wednesday is normally scheduled for these types of meetings. So Tuesdays is more coordination meetings with consultants, with the state, with federal government. So that we only have but so many days of the week to schedule more meetings than there are days. So that's why we kind of stay historically in certain days. Our board meetings are on Mondays, et cetera, et cetera.
The reason I bring him up is because, you know, they talk with the other municipalities quite often, and so it's kind of a bummer that we don't have his voice represented here to, you know, maybe share other perspectives.
Yeah, I mean, that's above all of our pay grade. So,
Shouldn't be elected by us.
Right.
yeah, so. Okay. We'll start with inviting them and see, we'll go from there.
We'll try to begin the research of who the contact people are. See if we can even find contact information of who those people would be. We'll take it from there, see what the future will bring, if that's the direction of the board.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. So now it's everyone's favorite time for once around the room. We're gonna go in reverse order. We'll start with Ken.
We have groundbreaking on 2 new projects coming up. Cypress Square phase 3. And it's gonna bring 120 units, I believe, of affordable housing. Thank you. And then also Lost on Lemon, which would bring another 100 one-bedroom units to property. So groundbreaking, excuse me, is the 17th, scheduled next week, 17th. So looking forward to those 2 projects, and probably hopefully another 8 to 10 months. We will have McCowan Towers, an additional 100 units coming to McCowan Towers, 84 units coming to McCowan Towers. So 3 different projects coming up in the near future, bringing more affordable housing to our area.
Is that the North County or is it the entire
That's North County.
North County? What about South County? Anything down there?
We have no property down there to build on. So we would love to expand down there, but we just don't have the property to do it.
Again, into your district, to a school district.
That's it.
All right.
No.
That was easy.
No more questions.
Thank you.
Nothing new.
I dug my hole deep enough, I'm good.
You're a hero.
I'm the whole thing.
I have nothing.
One more quick share that I shared with Manatee is Senior Friendship Center has they're sitting on some grant money to provide transportation to seniors for a variety of life services, and they can't spend it. So if you have seen, because they can't find people to use it. So if you have seniors who need transportation, please reach out to Senior Friendship Center.
No comment.
I just want to say, I'm Judy. I work at a nonprofit in Sarasota. We serve Sarasota and Manatee County. We have FDOT vehicles, we have 2 vans, and we have 1 driver for 2 counties.
Oh.
And we take people like from those 2 counties to medical appointments.
Great, but welcome. Thank you for coming.
Judy, what's your nonprofit's name, sorry?
Suncoast Center for Independent Living. We're huge with, we have like free donated medical equipment, shower chairs, wheelchairs, walkers.
All right.
All of that.
And we work with your counter, or it might be still the same office out in Lee and Collier County.
We're a Center for Independent
Yes,
Living, so there is another one like in it's Largo, it's more for Pinellas and all of those counties up there. It's called Disability Achievement or something like that, but
Thank you.
we just lost 6 people from AARP. So we're just slammed. I do.
We're charging my adult
And
protective services.
I used to work for adult
There you go.
protective services
There you
with Mike Day.
Okay. So he retires. So
I know, yeah, but he's back working in the community. He's still working. So anyway. I just wanted to.
Excellent, thank you. We are good on our end. Any additional? All right, we made it exactly 1 hour. When did we do that?
Who needs the condition? We have the-
No. Maybe there's something I never looked at.
Yeah, that ain't good.
See you.